just in the background, trying to make sure we get some of those payments released from people that may have accidentally filed the wrong separation information or information we're waiting for from the employers. So we're trying to make sure we get those missing paperwork, that type of thing handled and processed. We can get those people benefits.
Okay, so just so I understand this correctly, if people have any type of issue with their claims, which ones are the ones who are not supposed to be calling right now?
So right now, most of the people that are having issues with their claims are people who have not received bill benefits, who are eligible. They in the coming weeks we're going to.
People have any type of issue. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm sorry. So to ensure everyone receives their benefits, we're trying to make sure we get to the ones who may have missing paperwork, who they may have indicated as issue of being separated and a non-monetary issue. People who may have ineligible weeks. So we're taking definitely a hard look at those to see if we can get those processed ASAP, because we know those people have been waiting, and so we want to make sure those are processed. So if they've already sent a web notice, if you've already tried to call, just be patient, please. We have staff dedicated to looking at those issues that are holding up the claims.
I know the last time we spoke there were 600 people. Are there more people answering the phones? Do you have certain people dedicated just to chat, just to fixing open monetary issues, just to answering calls, or how is that working with everybody who is on the phone system?
So we still have hundreds of people on the phone system still assisting with people trying to file a claim. So those on the phone, online, we have tons of people online and tons of people on the phone trying to help file claims still. So let me make that clear. So there are still people that can't file claims. So let's make sure those people can get through to file their claim. So that's one of our focuses. The other focus is on people who filed their claim and have not received their payment yet. So a couple hundred of people that's focused on that. We have a couple hundred people focused on making sure people who are locked out can have their accounts reset. So we have increased our staffing, but know that they're all scattered throughout with our top few issues. And so our top few issues are people who can't get through on the phone to file their claim first and foremost, or online. People who have filed their claim but they have not been paid. And then the other people are the people who are locked out. So those are kind of like our main focus right now.
Okay, last week, Governor Whitmer signed a new executive order that extended these unemployment benefits. And the order says any of the people who now qualify, that their benefits are charged to the Unemployment Insurance Agency's non-chargeable benefits account, and that the determination status is waived. So question is, shouldn't that fix every single non-monetary issue that people are dealing with?
It should not fix every non-monetary issue if the employer has a dispute with the claim, or if the claimant did not provide enough information to know. Because those have to be reviewed to see if we need to gather some more information from that claimant, or to be responsive to what the employer is asking or what the employer has submitted.
And that's one of the other questions that people have been emailing me about. If you can't get in touch with their employer, I mean, what can you guys do, since a lot of these businesses are not open? Can you just release their money anyway, or how is that working?
So one of the things we have been doing is not only are we reaching out to the brick and mortar by sending them information, but they have to be mindful as well that the employer does have an online account. So they can see the information through their online account, and we've also been making calls to the employers as well.
Okay, so people also reach out to me and they're filing for the first time in the last couple of weeks and say they have already been getting paid, while others who file in mid-March are still waiting. Is that fair to people who have filed 6 weeks ago and they are still waiting for their money? A lot of these people who email me say they have their husbands are laid off, their wives are laid off, they have kids at home and they can't pay their bills, and they're afraid that they're going to be kicked out of their home, they're not going to be able to pay for their car payments, and they're wondering if that's fair to give people money who just claimed and not be paying people who filed 6 weeks ago.
So it's not a matter of us not paying people who filed 6 weeks ago. It's a matter of it's two different type of claims. So those who may have filed their claims and then went straight through could have been a UI claim, a regular unemployment insurance claim. Those who filed and went straight through could have not had anything hanging them up. They had all their correct information. They were not locked out their accounts. They may have had they may not have had additional questions from their employer. So it's not a matter of first in, first out, or last in, first out. It's not a logarithm to it. So it's just a matter of sometimes claims come through with no issue, and so those got paid. And sometimes people have we have received information from the claimant that we need to follow up with, or from the employer that we need to follow up with.
Now, the UIA director, Steve Gray, recently said on a video chat that the agency will be working on certain claim dates first. Can you tell us how that will work and what dates that you guys will be starting with?
So we're, to your point of what you just mentioned, we're starting with the oldest claims first, because absolutely we want to make sure those people get paid because they've been waiting for an extremely long time. And so that's our focus right now, is to make sure we get money to those people who have been waiting for weeks now and have not received a response at all. And so that's our focus, is to work on the oldest claims to try and make sure we can get those processed very expeditiously at this point, because it has been a while. We want to make sure we can get them paid ASAP.
Also, Kimberly, last time we spoke, you said that once people are in the queue, they will be answered by the end of the day and workers won't leave until everybody in the queue is taken care of. People say that that's a lie, and it's not working, when in fact they waited on hold for 8 to 10 hours and then just end up getting hung up on.
Okay. So that's not the case from our side. From our side, everyone in that queue, and I'm watching it myself, and so at the end of the day, everyone in that queue does get service. So
Oh, it looks like you froze.
that is hung up.
Oh, can you say that again? I'm sorry. It looks like you froze. There you go. You're back.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said from our standpoint, that is accurate, and that's the way we've been seeing it. And I myself have been monitoring the queue, and that is how it happens. If you actually make it into the queue, but I have been also seeing where people indicate that they're not even able to get to the queue, they stay on hold and it's hung up before they even make it there. So they may not have gotten to the part that I'm speaking of, to where they're actually in the queue.
Okay, if people are opting for the callback option, what should show up on their caller ID? Because Gabby says that when her mom opted for the callback, it got a potential spam call from the caller ID, and therefore they didn't want to give out the personal information. Is that what people can expect on their caller ID when somebody calls back?
So one of the things we're working on technology-wise is to make sure we can list our number as the callback number. So it'll have the 866-500-0017. But again, we have to reach out to each individual carrier. So make sure you're answering that potential call if you can. Make sure you're answering that potential call, because I know some carriers, the call goes straight to their voicemail and they're not able to answer. That's why I say if you can. So currently we're working on fixing that issue and making sure that it does reflect New Center area or our 0017 number.
Okay. The state recently laid off 2,900 people. They did not lose their benefits, and they were automatically enrolled into the unemployment system. Is that fair for people, that they are getting put into a system that other people can't even get into?
So every employer has an opportunity to file what's called an employer file claim. The state of Michigan chose to file an employer file claim.
Okay, so that means they're automatically entered in. So if somebody's employer did that as well, it could be the same thing for them?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Last week when we chatted, you told me that you had not spoken with your IT department about the phone issue and the drop calls. Have you addressed that with them, and what is the outcome of that?
The outcome is the volume of calls that we are receiving is just voluminous. And so what we've been working on is we keep watching the ports, monitoring the ports to make sure we can try and get enough people in as possible. But again, to your point earlier, that's a staffing thing too, Ryan. We have to make sure the staff are there to answer the calls, which we are consistently are monitoring. And we increase our staffing as to accommodate what we can, because right now we are at 600, but we want to make sure we keep monitoring that. So yes.
Amber emailed in that several people have emailed me this question. So they can't get into their account, and an authentication code is said to be texted to them. Either they didn't get the code or their phone number is wrong in the system. How can they fix it if they can't get in?
So those are, remember I was mentioning earlier, and I wanted to make sure I reiterate this, that we have a good 200 people right now, and we're still steadily increasing that number to deal with nothing but lockouts. So we're going to have a couple hundred how they were locked out. And so that's one of our three main focuses are on people who have not received payment. That is definitely a focus this week. I want to make sure people who have claims that are held we get that information from the claim, those payments. Same thing with the lockouts. We have hundreds of people on the lockouts now, so they should be receiving emails or calls to help them unlock their account. So please make sure you answer those calls. And then the last thing is, of course, the regular telephone number. But we're asking that people reserve those for people who have not been able to get through and can't file a claim. or people who do not have online service and can't get online to get assistance.
This is another big question, and Amber and Scott and Maricel just asked it. When are you going to be opening the offices so people can come in and talk to people face to face?
When we can't, we're under an executive order, so I can't open it until the governor has taken us off the executive order.
So will that be like after the 15th, or do you not know exactly like a certain date that state agencies can open? I'm guessing when you do open, you will still have some of the social distancing guidelines that you can't allow 100 people inside the building at the same time.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see here. This is another big question that I'm getting a lot. Andy says that the issue is with his 1099 and went in as a W-2, and they're telling me that they're not trained to fix it and they have to talk with a supervisor. And somebody else said that the supervisors are not answering questions after 2. So how can people get those answered if the person that does answer their question can't do so?
Again, that sounds like an issue that we would need to adjudicate and need to talk with the person about, and talk with the employer, talk to the person about. And so once that staff gets to that particular claim, they will reach out to that claimant to get additional information or to fix it themselves. I have not heard the issue of, or not experienced the issue of a supervisor not being available after 2, because our supervisors and our lead workers and our managers work 7 to 12 hours as well.
Rachel asks, what happens if your work is telling you that you have to work? Will you get denied benefits because you don't go back?
That would, if the person is already on benefits and has not gone back, that it would be incumbent upon the employer, should they choose to protest their reason of why they're not going back to work. That would be on the employer. I can't definitely say the employer will. I can't definitely say they will receive the benefits until there's a question being raised by the employer.
Okay, Brianna also asked, and you brought this up a little bit ago about the adjudication process. How long does that take? And I know you said you're going to have people specifically dedicated to looking in accounts and fixing those. Are some of these issues where people, send in their birth certificates or their social security cards, the computer isn't necessarily built and designed to accept that, right? You have to have a real human look at somebody's account and just release the funds.
Correct. We just want to make sure in those instances, you're absolutely correct. We want to make sure that we have someone actually reviewing that information so that we're paying unemployment benefits to those who should be receiving them. And like, it's not, somebody trying to file on behalf of somebody else. Do you know what I mean? So we want to make sure those are the correct people. So yeah, I would prefer to have a human look at those as well.
Angela wants to know what happens when a former employer will not fax unemployment back to verify that you quit.
That would be a decision would be made on the best available information.
Okay. Additional claim required. That's another one. So, and I don't know if we can do this in 2 different steps, but additional claim required and non-monetary issues. Those are the biggest things. And sometimes when we reach out to the UIA on stories that we're doing, they fix the issue in a matter of 5 minutes. So it seems like, at least with those 2, that those are fairly easy to fix. Is that correct?
The additional claim required, and what was the other one?
The open non-monetary issue.
The open non-monetary issue is not as easy as the additional claim required. The additional claim required just means that the person's more than likely at the end of their original claim, and so they need to file an additional claim. And so, yes, we are able to help assist with that. The open non-monetary issue may mean we need additional information from the claimant or the employee, and we may need additional information from the employer. And so those may take a little bit more investigation. And so that's why we've added a whole team of a couple hundred to look at those to make sure we can get those processed as soon as possible.
And this is another big question that I've been getting to. Kaylee says she's eligible for a claim, but the certifications say ineligible weeks. What does that mean, and how do they fix that?
So it could be, so those are a couple different issues. So it could be that the person may have answered something wrong on the first time they got a chance to to certify. And so it held them ineligible. And then the other thing could be that it may be denied on the original claim, and they may need to file an additional claim. So she needs to look at that monetary determination again to make sure it was an improvement.
Okay, Carrie says that she was denied for regular UI and then applied for PUA, and the 2 claims seem to be fighting each other and making it come up as disqualification week. Is that something that would happen if they open 2 different claims?
If she was denied on an unemployment insurance claim, just a regular unemployment insurance claim, and she was allowed to apply for the PUA claim, it may be again something that she entered or something that she answered incorrectly to disqualify her for that 1 week. But then, especially if she's getting her additional week, so what she could do is she could fill out a web notice just to let us know that, in that case only, to let us know that she, to look at that week because she may be qualified for that 1 week.
Okay, so somebody's saying that you didn't answer this, and I've been looking at different questions. So if you can go back to the additional claim required, what do those people need to do?
Absolutely nothing, because those people have the additional claim. People are the ones that need to file an additional claim. So it means that more than likely their benefit year ended, and so they need to actually look at the account and file it. It says additional claims at the top of their MyWim account. Click there, and there should be a way to file an additional claim.
Okay, so they just have to click is this under the activity section, or would it be under like where it says correspondence?
Under activity section.
Activity, okay.
It should be with MyWim account. It should be right at the top of their MyWim account.
Okay. Roger says that he still hasn't been paid in 4 weeks, and he had to go find an essential job to pay his landlord. So will people like him who had to go out and find work, will they still get their back pay when they were laid off?
Yes, they absolutely would be back paid. We are reassuring claimants, workers, that their claims will be backdated to reflect the date on which they were initially laid off and affected by COVID. Absolutely.
Okay. Lisa says that her fiance. Oh, say that again?
I'm sorry, Ryan. It's regardless of how much time has passed, they will still be backdated to the original date of when the worker was laid off due to COVID.
Okay. And what I've been hearing is that people are getting their lump sum, either $1,200, $3,000, $4,000. They get it all at one time.
Yes.
Okay. Lisa says that her fiance had to be home due to COVID since his kids were out of school. His employer listed that he was on personal leave and fought it, causing it to be denied. And now it says he's permanently laid off or fired. So how do they go about refiling his unemployment to be accepted?
Actually, he doesn't even need to refile at this time. He really could have filed what's called a protest to the determination that was issued. So if he files a protest, then we will look at that exact same claim. And again, if he's found eligible and qualified, we will revert that payment back to the original date he was home with his child because of COVID. Being at home with your children is one of the COVID reasons of why you can't work. So he needs to file a protest to that claim.
Angela says, what about people disqualified for all weeks?
So it sounds like that person needs to look at their monetary determination again. They may be disqualified for unemployment or for a PUA, which I can't see how that would happen, but it may be that they're disqualified.
Okay.
So they can't any of the weeks.
Okay, and I don't know if you said that this was shut down, because I remember last time that you guys were having an issue with the chat system. Is there a way for people to message the UIA in the online account, or another email that you guys have set up? Because I know we've mentioned too the LEO-coronavirus at michigan.gov and the UIA-MyWAM issues at michigan.gov. Is there another email that you guys have been set up, or can they get in touch with somebody at UIA through their MyWAM account?
They have, a lot of people have already submitted MyWAM account web notices. So if they've already submitted a web notice, again, we're asking that you please be patient, because we have staff working on those web notices, working on those adjudications. And so in order for us to get through those, resubmitting a request or re-asking the same question is not helping at all, because we're already working on those. So I wouldn't encourage them to file anything else if they've already filed something. If they have never reached out to us before, then absolutely go into their MyWAM account and send us a web notice. But again, those are all issues that are probably pending, that we have dedicated staff to make sure we can get those adjudicated, and we're reviewing all claims and all inquiries in the order that they are received.
Okay, during the certification process, this one is from Rio, during her 1099 PUA form, and this is a lot of people on their normal claims as well. When they are certifying, they are asked if they are seeking work at this time, and she answered no, given the situation, and it denied her. Should people always be saying yes? And if they did select no, is there a way for them to change that after they submitted it?
After they've submitted it, there's no way to change it, but they should be saying yes. Because of COVID, they can't actually go out, and that has been lifted under the executive order. The seeking work and work searches has been paused because of the executive order.
Okay. Tiffany says when she calls on her designated day, the recording says that it is for filing only. Why are people getting that message when they're supposed to be filing on that day, and when should they call instead?
Can you repeat that question? You broke up on me a little bit.
Yeah, Tiffany said when she calls on her designated day, the recording says that it is for filing only. So why are people getting that message when they're supposed to be filing on that day, and should they be calling another day instead?
When she calls on her day to file a claim?
Yes.
Or
well, it says for filing only, but it may be for the certification, but she says it's for filing.
Okay, so calling the 866-500-0017 number on any particular day is for filing only. If she's trying to certify, she should call our Marvin number or certify it online.
Can you say that Marvin number for people? Or I can find it later, because I think you're right. A lot of people may be calling the 866-500-0017 when you say if they're certifying, they should be calling the other number.
They should.
We'll see if, did you say you're looking that number up? We lost her? Okay, well, it looks, oh, she's frozen. Okay, sorry, everybody. Hopefully we get her back. Okay, I hear she's back. Kimberly, you there with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Did you happen to have that Marvin number, or is that something that we could look up for people?
Give me 1 second. We can go to the next question while I'm looking for it.
Sure.
If that's okay.
Mike says that his wife is having issues with her claim, saying that multiple accounts are linked to her social security number. So what can she do?
So in that instance, so if she's able to get into her account, she should file a web notice and get a web notice to us for us to contact her.
Okay. Let's see. We're going to some more questions. Some people are posting the number, but they're different, so I don't want to say those. Let's see here. What does fact-finding mean? Melissa asked that. Well, it looks like she's frozen again. Sorry, folks. I'm still reading some of your comments as we come in here, as we wait for her to unfreeze. Jesse, for the UIA, she said there is an option on UIA on your MyWAM that you can send in a message, and they are putting people specifically on that. Kimberly, you back again?
I think I am.
Technology for you.
I know, right? That is my apology. I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay. I'm just going through some of these questions, so it's okay.
Okay. The number for Marvin is 866 638 3993.
Okay, 866-638-3993. Ann says that web. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And they can also certify their online, though. That's definitely an option for them.
Okay. Ann says that web notices are never answered. Is that something you guys still are working on?
We are working on that in conjunction with our adjudication and answering those fact-finding forms that you were mentioning earlier. So that's the team that's working on the non-mine issues, the fact-finding forms, the ones that have non-monetary issues, and also web notices. So yes, we do have teams dedicated to those 3 different areas. Absolutely.
Okay, Samir wants to know how they can file for PUA if it does not show on their account and they can't speak to somebody.
There should be under all claims, there should be a way to file the pandemic unemployment assistance program should be there.
Okay. Let's see. Another one. Madonna says that she will receive $962 next business day. A lot of these people have emailed me this as well, that they are supposed to be being paid on a certain day and it doesn't happen. What would be causing that?
Okay, so it will never be the very next day. It usually takes 2 to 3 days on a regular during regular times with unemployment for benefits to be paid. But we've been noticing it's been taking 7 to 10 just because of the volume, the sheer volume.
Okay. I'm going to go through a couple more. I know we're almost running out of time. Let's see. So, and I know that, I mean, is there anything that you want to say on behalf of UIA? Because I know, and there's somebody that I spoke with the unemployment office, and there are people out there who are answering your phones who understand the frustration for people. Is there anything that you want to say, I guess, on behalf of the people answering claims? I know they are overwhelmed. I know it's not helping people pay their bills, but is there anything that you want to say for all the people out there who might be answering the phones and just what they're going through on the other end for these people?
I want to say that know that our staff is extremely dedicated to make sure that everyone who is entitled to benefits will receive those benefits. All those pending claims are our top priority right now. The ones who are hung up for some odd reason, who we need additional information, who we need identity information on. We are definitely reviewing those claims in our inquiries in the order that they're received, but we're trying to make sure we get to everyone as soon as we can. We have moved resources around and dedicated resources as we are getting these types of questions, Ryan, to make sure we can reach everybody that we need to, and especially with those, again, top 3 things we were talking about earlier. So if you haven't received your benefits and you haven't heard back from our agency about the status, but you successfully submitted your claim, please know that there's no need to call or message us. We have gotten the information already, be it through your web notice or be it through just additional information that we may need from you. We will be contacting you. Just please, and I know we've asked already to hang in there, but just hang in there. We are definitely trying to make sure that everyone who has filed for benefits, everyone who's eligible for benefits, everyone who is waiting, we understand your frustration, but we're fighting just as hard on our side to make sure we can get this through as fast as we can. One of the things I will encourage you on is that there are several different other types of resources for you on our website. Look at your certification status, your monetary determination, what does that mean? Additional claim required, what does that mean? There are videos there and there are facts, frequently asked questions and documentation there that can help you understand some of these things rather than calling. So please try and read some of those, look at that material. We've done videos to try and help out with getting some answers out there as well. So we update our website like daily, every other day, to try and make sure we have the most recent asked questions up there and how we've done videos or frequently asked questions and answers to those. So just kind of monitor that website a little bit. Just give us a little bit more time as well. We are, again, realigning staff with where our biggest focus is and our biggest concern is which is the telephone right now, and getting those claims processed that have been filed and they just haven't gone through yet because we need additional information.
I know that the system is overloaded, and this is something that really hasn't happened before. When I spoke with a local representative here, Mark Heisinger, he says that the agency is funded and the government funds it based on last year's numbers. Is there anything that you guys are going to be trying to do with the legislature to make sure that if this happens again, if we are forced into another stay-at-home, whether it be this fall or next spring, that the agency is funded properly, possibly for an upgrade in the IT system, an upgrade in the computer system or the phone system?
It's not just an issue with our phone system because the phone systems are able to get through. The phone system has not gone down. The computer I know has, but we've worked on making sure we had stability with our servers and things of that nature. So we've had great success after the issue that we had on April 13th, or I think it was, or that week sometime. So we've had stability with the system since. Our IT people have worked diligently to make sure that it's stable, more stable than mine. Our staff are on the phone, so our phone system has not ever been down. So it's not a matter of technology, it's a matter of being able to handle the volume that we have in these unprecedented times.
So, well, that was the question, because I know you were talking about the volume that they are designed to handle this, but sometimes, you know, like when you call big companies or major companies, no matter what number you are in the queue, it'll tell you, you have 30 minutes on hold, you have 4 hours on hold. Is there anything that can be done in something like that so that people don't have to, you know, get disconnected or not get through at all? Is there a way to update that so that people could at least get in the system and say, you know, you have a 4-hour wait?
I could certainly look into that, Ryan. Thank you for asking that question.
Okay, so Dwayne wanted to know that he's been waiting on his card for about 2 weeks now, and I've had that issue as well. Are people, what should they do about their card that apparently has the unemployment benefits on it?
They can do one or two things. They can go into their account and change it to a banking account information if they have that available to them, if they have that resource available to them, or else they can send us an email for us to send the information to contact Bank of America to receive their debit card.
Okay, we'll do a couple more. Tara says, how do you know whether it's myself or the employer who needs to send in more information?
Because if the employee needs to send in more information, then the question would be given to them, and there should be a questionnaire out there for them to respond to, which is like a 1713. It's called a fact-finding form. That's what the fact-finding forms are that you asked me about earlier. And so that's us asking them a question. If by some reason they have not received the fact-finding form, then it may be the employer that we're looking for information from.
Okay. Cody asks, how do you reopen a claim?
There should be, if he looks at additional claim, there should be a button there that allows him to actually reopen that claim or to file a new claim.
Okay, I'm looking for a couple more, sorry. Let's see here. How many weeks are you guys behind on verifying documents that have already been submitted?
Depends on which way you're asking that question, only because if they've mailed them in or faxed them in, then we're probably at the 3rd week of April. If they've uploaded them, then I can't tell you that offhand right now, but it depends on how the information was sent in. If they sent the information in by fax or by mail, they may want to go back in and upload it, because we are about 3 weeks behind on that one. So it's probably the 2nd or 3rd week of April.
Okay, is there a way that you guys are also going to be, let's see, if you are behind, I'm going to ask you really quick, let's see here. If not enough people, I think you kind of mentioned this a little bit, people haven't worked in years, all of a sudden they're getting benefits. Well, I'm just saying here, there's nothing happening for me, for Chad. So a lot of people who haven't worked in years and all of a sudden they are getting benefits, while a lot of people who said they've worked 10 or 15, 20 years and they're still not getting anything yet.
That's, again, the people who have not gotten anything yet may have had an issue open that's not of how they separated from their employee. So it's not a matter of is it fair or not, it's a matter of the people who have not worked, had a pandemic unemployment assistance claim, may have been a lot easier because there's no contested claim. No one's disputing the fact that they should or should not get benefits. The people who have not gotten benefits yet, it may be an issue of a hang up or something they answered incorrectly, or something that the employer provided that may have us asking additional questions and additional fact finding.
Is there anything that you guys are doing differently because of COVID-19 in terms of employers? Shannon asks, how long are you giving them to respond? How long do people have to get back with you? Like, is that what's delaying it if employers get 2 more weeks and these people have been waiting for 6 weeks?
No. What we're doing with the employers, again, is that we're sending them information out. The information that we mail them also lives on their account, and we're also placing calls to them. So that's a different thing that we're doing, is we're placing calls or reaching out to the employers to try and get that information. If we do not have the information, we're making the decision on the best information we have available to us at the time of the decision we're making.
Okay, Cassie asks, are you guys checking your faxes? She says, after sending faxes over 2 weeks ago, there is no movement on her case.
We are checking our faxes every single solitary day, but again, as I suggested, she may want to upload it to her account as opposed to faxing.
Okay, I think we're almost out of time, so I'll ask the last question that I can find here. So I do know that the system is working for some, but not for thousands of others. Do you think, looking back on it now, and I know that Michigan said that it could not have planned for something like this, but do you think the agency has failed the people of Michigan who need it the most right now. Like I said, people are worried about their food. They're worried about losing their homes, getting kicked out. They're worried about losing their cars or their phones and that type of thing. Do you think the agency failed them?
I absolutely do not think the agency has failed. I think the agency has paid out. We have more than 1 million claimants and more than 1 million unemployment workers who have got through on the system. We have more than 1 million people who have received benefits. We've paid out over $2.73 billion in payments to 1 million people. I think we're doing an excellent job. I think there are room for improvement. Don't get me wrong. I totally understand that. I think we've extended our hours and we have quintupled our customer facing with staff so we can get hundreds of more people in the pipeline. I think we've gone from typically staffing maybe 130 people to 650. I think we've been more than responsive in trying to get to interviews such as this and discussions such as this to see where the pain points are for people so that we can focus some of those 650 on different areas. We've been aggressive in doing that. So as I think we spoke last week or week before, and it said we were talking about the non-mon issues. That was my first thing I did when we got back to the office. We talked about that and moved people to non-mon issues so we can get those moving as well. So we've been focusing on the public's needs and what we've been doing, but that 1.2 million people served over $2.7 billion is nothing to sneeze at. So I think the agency has been aggressively trying to make sure we get money into the hands of, and to those people that need it. I understand we still have a little work to go. The staff understands we have a little way to go, but do I think we failed? Absolutely not. I think we've done a great job, and I think we're still trying to find ways to increase in what we've already done so far.
I've asked this last week, but for people who may have just been joining us now and didn't get to hear that, is there a way, and I've been asked this a lot, is there a way for the agency to go 24 hours? Not necessarily asking people to work 24 hours, but do the shifts instead of ending right at 6 or right at 7? Is there a way to go, 24 hours a day until things get back to normal?
Our phone lines are not 24 hours. And so,
But can they be?
Right now we're focused on making sure that we get those people who claims are hung up that's trying to call. We're trying to make sure we get those processed and sent out as soon as possible. So it's not a matter of sending people 24 hours. It's a matter of giving us time to focus on those who need to get through to us, through to us to file a claim. While we know we have a team already working on those who've gotten through and the claim is held up.
Okay. Have you guys said anything like as an agency that is there like a set date? Have you guys talked about anything that by August 1st everything should be done? By June 1st everything should be finalized? Is there any type of timeline for people to know when everything should be, I guess, back to normal?
There is not. We are not in a normal state. We are still in the middle of the pandemic, and I don't see it slowing up anytime soon, so I cannot give a date out of when everything will be.
Is there anything else that you want to add before we end this Facebook Live?
Just that a lot of the questions they have and a lot of the reasons why they're calling, I again encourage them to go to www.michigan.gov/UIA. There are tons of helpful frequently asked questions that we've updated, tons of tutorial videos that we've updated, and other resources to help workers. I know they've had some long waits. I know that it's going to be frustrating. I know that we are viewed as one of the ones that have failed this state, but we have not. We need to continue to do better. We have done great work, but there is still work we want to do. We as an agency understand that, but we want everyone to know that everyone who is eligible for benefits will receive their benefits. There is no question about that, and the benefits will be backdated. So again, 90% of the claimants that are filing online within 20 minutes or less, and their claims are going through. It's just the other handful that we're continuing to focus on to make sure they get the benefits that they're entitled to as well. So while it seems like I'm saying that, we have done some great work, but again, this agency understands we still have a little ways to go to make sure that we get benefits in everybody's hands, and that's our focus right now.
Okay, Kimberly Berry, the Deputy Director with the Michigan Unemployment Insurance Agency. Thank you so much for joining us for this Fox 17, Fox 47 joint Facebook Live today. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And just so you guys know, whoever has been watching this, you can go back. This is going to be on our Facebook page, obviously, for a while, and you can just click play and watch the entire thing. It lasted about 40 minutes. Thank you so much for joining us.